spark at the moment.
Yeah. I'll be driving. It's kind of scary, but
we literally made it here already.
But yeah, we just pulled up to the beach, so.
Let's go to the beaches. He's out.
We're just at the Jupiter race for the second No Prep Kings, and we're basically kind of killing time between this race and the Georgia race. Ain't no sense in driving all the way home. What is it, Sean? It was 20 hours to get here or something, huh?
Yeah, like, man, more than 20, wasn't it? Like 21, 22?
Something like that. You know, you figure in gas stops and food here and there, and it was a whole damn day of driving, and we split it up into two. So there's no point in taking those 2 days, driving all the way home, and then driving all the way back. So luckily I'm in pretty good shape with my car. I don't have a lot to do. You're in pretty good shape with yours. You don't really have anything to do.
I
mean, you got to shock
weird.
something.
It's weird.
I know. You got a little shock something weird.
I got a little shock problem.
Yeah.
Something, it's like blown out or something.
Yeah. And I got a tiny little blower issue that was possibly self-inflicted. We got to fix, but it's little. So we're gonna fuck around here for the next 3 days.
3 days?
Yeah. Try to make it
3, 4 days?
3, 4, yeah, whatever. Basically right till we have to be there.
Right.
So we're gonna, today we hung out, we loaded up all the trucks and trailers and everything, and we're sitting on the beach. We just had some dinner. We're sitting on the beach just letting the kid hang out.
We got
I was gonna say kids, but Sean left his at home.
Yeah. We got Street Outlaws Chuck out there.
We got Street Outlaws Chuck in the ocean.
Street Outlaws.
Yeah. I had no idea Chuck had a Street Outlaws channel.
You didn't know that?
No.
Oh man, I knew it.
I did not know that.
So Chuck has this big tattoo on his back, and the same girl that did my hand right here is the one that does all of Chuck's tattoos.
Okay.
He's been doing it since like season 1.
Yeah,
like that's whenever he started that back tattoo.
Yeah.
And at the bottom, he's got a big tramp stamp that says Street Outlaws.
It's like a commercial.
Yeah.
When you look at it, it makes you think of the
Chuck is the billboard.
Street Outlaws.
Hey, whenever Chuck did that, I knew he was a lifer.
He was a lifer.
He's a lifer.
For life,
Yeah.
yeah.
And Phantom would be here filming, but where's he at? Oh, that's right.
yeah.
He locked his keys in his truck.
Yeah. Yeah, poor Phantom. So we all go eat, and at the end he goes, man, anybody got any keys to a 98 to 02 Chevy truck? And we were like, what? Yeah, he locked them in it. So he's hanging out with a locksmith in the parking lot about an hour from here, or about a mile from here. But I'm sure when he gets the opportunity, he'll be joining us.
Come over here, Chuck.
How is it, Hog?
We got a little bit of wind, just a little nippy. If it was, we would have came here about noon, or it'd have been pretty perfect.
Take that shirt off, bro.
Chuck, what is
I've
that?
been drinking Coronas, baby.
Yeah.
No, turn all the way around so we
over
can
there.
see what's over there.
Come here, Chuck. What's wrong with y'all? We just want to show your back tat.
My tramp stamp?
Come on, let's see the tramp stamp.
Yeah, all right, there it is.
Bubby.
Hey, it's the same chick, dude, that did the back piece on the back.
The whole everything?
really
Yeah,
good.
yeah.
It's really
she's good.
Yeah, it looks good.
So whenever I first met Chuck, he's always had the one in the middle that is his symbol for alternative motorsports.
Yeah.
So anybody who's watched the show for a long time has seen us wearing the alternative motorsports.
Right.
That is the tattoo.
Somebody asked me yesterday about the power. They go, "Who owns the Powerline company?" I go, "That was Sean."
Yep.
Like, I used to see you guys because I became a fan when I saw all the Powerline shirts. And I go, "Yeah, we didn't have any sponsors, so we."
Me and you were the only ones that had a company, and I
Yeah,
think,
we had businesses.
and then Chief had the sheer heat and air.
Yes.
But other than, yeah, we wore those. It was those 3 shirts that we wore in the beginning. You know, my Powerline company, Chuck's Alternative Motorsports, and Chief's Heat and Air. And it's because they had to have a signed write-off from anybody who owned the company. Well, I owned my company, Chuck owned his, Chief owned his. So we were able to wear that stuff. And so that's why everybody, because at first everybody's like, man, Sean, does everybody on the show work for you? No, man, it was cold and I was the only one that had hoodies.
Yeah.
You know, so.
Yeah, so right after that, Chuck said, you know what?
I'm a street outlaw for life.
I'm gonna give me a tramp stamp. Like,
Yeah. Awesome.
Girls have them, why can't guys have them?
Yeah.
You know what? By the time you get everything else filled in, it won't even be a tramp stamp anymore. It'll just be a back piece.
But I got tired on my back, so I started on my arm.
Yep.
Now my arm's down, I need to start back on my back.
Yep.
So,
I'm gonna get one before we leave here.
a tramp stamp.
No, I'll hold off on that deal.
Okay.
I kind of got one. I got one up front here.
Yeah, what's that?
I don't know what this is called. What is that?
That's like the retro. Yeah.
Oh, what is it?
Yeah.
I don't. Yeah, it's a Cubs. Okay. With a Harry Carey. With the Harry Carey
I
glass.
thought, I was just making sure.
You never watch hockey?
Yeah, I just was wondering if there's anything else to that other than that.
No.
Hey, there's a reason why there's only one Chuck on this show.
Well, there's three, but you only see one at a
So I
time.
only talk,
You only see one at a
I can
time.
talk to him.
Yeah, I like it.
No regrets.
We got my kids over there playing in the mud.
Hell yeah.
He's having a time right now.
Out there pretty far, and he was like, "Go farther."
Was he getting scared? Oh, he was
I'm not tall.
He's told you to go farther? Good.
I'm like, I'm not.
So tomorrow, I guess we need to get on our, we're talking about doing a fishing trip, huh?
Tomorrow, there's a guy that was in all of our lines, I'm sure, who said that he is a commercial fisherman. And I was like, ooh, you should talk to Monza. He's wanting to go fishing. So he walked over to Monza. I walked over to Monza. I said, Monza, is this our guy? And Monza looked at me and said, yes. So we got his information, and he said he had a huge boat, and he's gonna take us out on the boat. I'm talking, I want to go 50, 60 miles offshore is where I want to go.
No land inside?
No.
I don't know about y'all, like, I've never had enough time in my life to just go fishing, period.
Well, I'm not a fisherman.
That's what I'm saying, I'm not either. And so if this is the next experience that I get with fishing, I'll take it.
Well, I've been fishing in the ocean, and I think the greatest thing about fishing in the ocean is, man, I had no idea what I was going to pull up.
Yeah.
That's the excitement for me. If I knew...
So what'd you catch the last time you went?
Man, bear with me here. I don't remember the names.
Yeah, right.
But I did catch some sort of tuna. It was like a smaller one.
Yeah.
But my uncle was like, man, you could probably get at least a couple $100 out of that fish.
Oh, really?
And we're on like a 12-foot John boat.
Oh, really?
I couldn't even see the land. My uncle's got me out there just, and we're like on Castaway and shit, you know? So, and then I
what's
caught
the soccer ball's name or the volleyball?
Yeah, Wilson.
You're looking for Wilson?
Wilson. So I ended up catching a sand dab, and it was a fucked up fish, man, because it's set on the bottom like this.
Yeah.
So both of its eyes were on the flat side of the fish, like looking up. And then my brother caught something, I don't know the name of it, but it had a sand tick. That's what my uncle called it. He called it a sand tick. And he picked it off with his knife. And it had like claws and shit. It was weird.
Hi, buddy.
So anyways, man, you never know. We had one fish that we didn't see it, but while it was in the cooler, it spit up
That dude was just jumping. That thing.
an octopus inside the cooler.
Freaking fish spit up an octopus? Whoa, that sounds like some Men in Black type shit.
Yeah, no, it's cool.
Yeah.
Every fishing boat, it just happened to be on like a 48-foot north side.
Yeah, but
That's
this
the stuff that. Yeah,
No, they just have, they're bigger boats, so they have 4 outboards.
Yeah.
They have 4 450s.
That'll be cool though.
Those
Yeah.
boats are stable in big water.
Have you contacted those cats yet?
Yeah. I didn't know what we were doing. So.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're gonna chill on the beach and then
Yeah, we're gonna chill on the beach for a little bit until we get rained out here in a minute.
yeah,
And
and then
stuff over there.
fill you in on the little adventure.
Yeah. The adventures of between racing. Street outlaw.
Street outlaw.
When we don't know what to do, we
We don't know what
vacate.
to do with ourselves.
Sometimes we vacation.
Yeah, no.
Bears in
You say some bears?
there. Like, I know there's bears in the forest that eat fish.
Yep, that's it.
Somebody's fishing.
On a scale of 1 to 10, that was awesome. If anybody wants to know. I'm not really sure what to think about that.
Nah, so yesterday we left off at the beach. Kind of just hung out today.
Yeah, we didn't do much today.
Oh.
Still fun.
And now we are Everglades touring on an airboat.
Everglades tour. We're gonna go on an airboat ride.
Of course he is.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
It's normal.
We're taking a photo.
Yeah, you go ahead and put whatever you want. Those waters and sodas are for you guys anyway. And you like it because I got a fresh bag since I had to come back out here.
I won't drop my gem.
Pay after we make it back alive or what? We don't make it back, you don't pay. If we make it back, you pay twice.
But if you want a picture, you can get a picture now.
A lot of air.
You see the trees in the background though?
I think we're good. Say cheese fan's like, I'm done.
Alright. Sorry, man. You don't trust him, even though he looks like he's got the camera.
Yeah.
You don't trust him, huh?
Well, none of us smiled. I don't think.
Alright, big
Okay,
smiles,
now.
everybody. Here we go, we'll get a bunch. It's the Instagram first. We've got two stuff over there. Alright, now Facebook.
All right.
Folks.
Thanks, man.
Let me just explain how it works. For your safety, the headsets are now obligated. Does everybody have a headset? Do you have
So?
enough for everybody?
Yeah, I think so.
All right.
Oh, bug was
I think
attacking
we
my
can take
eye.
it.
Bugs attacking your eye? If you have any left over there in the way, you just put them underneath the seat. When I turn the engine on, it's going to get really loud. You're not obligated to wear them, but I do suggest you wear them. When I turn the engine off, take them off so you can hear me talk. You get tired of what I got to say, take them off. And I'll put them back on and I'll shut up and keep on moving. The only thing I ask is while the boat's moving, please no dancing or standing. You can sing because I can't hear you anyway.
Right.
I just don't want anybody doing a face plant 25 miles an hour.
Okay.
When we stop, you can get up, walk around, grab a drink, take pictures. But please, while we're moving, that's why I need everybody's here. You ready?
Awesome. Let's do it.
Push this on.
Should have brought our headsets so we can talk to each other. Cool. That's a great idea.
All right, here we go. Everybody ready?
Yeah. Yeah, so today we're out at the Everglades taking an Everglades tour on Airboat.
Airboat.
Yeah.
Picking up where we left off
One
at the
thing
beach.
I've never done. Yeah.
Piece that together.
Look at
All
Sean,
set?
looks good. Yeah, we're ready.
Those look good.
You're looking good,
This is
bro.
it, right?
Yeah.
Oh, you know what? We don't have
See the alligators up ahead? They're gonna look like
folks, welcome to the Everglades. I'm Captain Brad. I'll be your host and guide, but first we gotta survive the winding trail of doom that we're about to go down. But before we do that, do we have any Alabama fans on the boat?
No.
This is where we're politely asking them to swim with the gators back to shore. Alright, now that we got that out of the way, I want to show you what makes up the Everglades. 200 to 300,000 years of flowing south has gathered 40 to 60 feet of this organic material. This is not mud. This is like your backyard mulch. It's plant stein and pump plant stein, and that's why it's called the river of grass. The Everglades were between 200 and 300,000 years old, and all this sedimentation has made them very fertile, but it also holds quite a bit of water. So important that this is a drinking water of 9.5 million South Florida residents. However, 1947,
We don't like this
the
one.
levees that you guys drove down. That was because in the 40s we had a very powerful lobbying group, I would venture to say it was almost as powerful as petroleum back then, that wanted to grow an agricultural byproduct here, actually grow a plant that produces an agricultural byproduct that kills more people for dietary reasons, and all drugs combined is more addictive than cocaine, and I'm pretty sure if everybody has eaten today, we've all had it. Does anybody know what that is?
Nope.
Sugar, what's the sugar they're trying to do?
Some people put it in coffee. You find it in Cokes. You find it in
Sugar?
Sugar, exactly.
There you go.
Sugar cane, very aggressive crop because it needs a lot of fertilization. Has a lot of organic material and it consumes a lot of water. So the Everglades, if you can imagine the Everglades, this was a wetland, but we had a lot of dry area by the grass. We had cattle and horses 100 years ago. We also had deer and bear and various game that people hunted commercially and for a living. For animals to exist, mammals in particular, they need dry land. So it wasn't, the Everglades wasn't this one just lake of water, no. It was swampland with a lot of cattle pasture and a lot of dry land and a lot of wetland per se. However, when they built the levees, they wanted to contain more water. And they essentially turned 10,000 square miles of Everglades and they reduced them down to 5,500 square miles of reservoirs. Then, when the population started growing in the 70s, 80s, 90s, and 2000, we had the housing industry boom, people moving to Florida, more water consumption. They had to keep them filled up even more. That cost them. Everybody see those ridges on the back of the elevator?
Yeah.
Nobody
It's
sees.
probably right about 7 feet, probably about 100.
Oh, now I see them.
The ridges on the back are like involved solar panels. They increase the surface area on an alligator by about 20%. This helps them absorb light, they're cold-blooded, and it helps them with their digestion. All right, can you all see the two blinking cell towers over there? Straight ahead of us. Two cell towers. That's where we came from. That's where the parking lot is. That is the east. Past that are the islands of the Bahamas, and there's an island there called Exuma. Today it's famous because people pay money to go swimming with pigs. Well, I figured that if you want to bite with want to swim with an animal that can bite you, you can come swim for free in the Everglades. We got alligators, snapping turtles, and water moccasins. All of them can give a mean bite. But back in the 80s and 90s, that was the island the cocaine cowboys used. A gentleman by the name Carlos Liderberg, German Colombian citizen, was partners with the infamous Pablo Escobar, the head of the Medellin cartel. They would refuel the planes in Exuma and send them over here to drop the dope. Why is this camp related? You can see the name above the door says Beach Club. Well, in 1987 we had black bear here. And we had a notorious 400-pound black bear that would go from camp to camp rummaging through people's garbage. He found in the hallway in the back of the house 2,000 kilos of cocaine stashed one day, ripped every bale and laid it perfectly around the camp so it looked like it was sitting on an island of white sand. Thus they named it the Beach Club. Now these camps were built by the Gladesmen in the 20s, 30s, 40s, and 50s for commercial hunting. Back then Florida didn't have any Mickey Mouse or Miami Vice, so there was no tourism. People lived off the land. They hunted, they trapped, they fished, and they also did some agriculture and some land development. Today, they're used by the invasive Homo sapiens species in Florida known as the Floridius redneckus americanus, or rednecks, to come and drink beer. They hang out on the weekends, they do poker runs where they'll grab airboats and they'll go from camp to camp, grab a card, whoever has the best poker hand at the end of the day wins. You can purchase one of these if they happen to come up for sale, but they sell between $200,000 and $400,000, and you actually don't own anything. Properties owned by the state of Florida. In the last 40 years, the state of Florida has been trying to get rid of them. However, some of these camps have been grandfathered in by very prominent families who have long fingers in politics here in Florida, so they've been able to stave off the state from taking the land away. So they pay a lease in which you're now allowed to profit off of these camps. You can't Airbnb or rent them out, or you can't live in them. I mean, so you can't stay 6 months in one day, but you can throw wild parties, and that's what they do sometimes. You should see Halloween.
What? Looks like a couple of them look abandoned.
No, none of these are abandoned. These are actually pretty well kept. There were over 300 of them originally. We're down to 197, and there's 17 here in Conservation Area 2A.
Okay.
Most of them have a generator because in the summer it does get hotter than hell here in Florida. Now I'm going to shut up for a little while. We're going to cruise right down the heart of the Everglades. You're going to see how the landscape changes. This is as closest to what the Everglades looked naturally 100 years ago before they built levees and the water flooded it all. I'm going to stop to show an artifact that belonged to Uncle Pablo Escobar. Are y'all ready?
Yes.
All right, here we go, folks.
See right
plane.
back there.
That one of Pablo's?
This was Pablo Escobar's plane, went down with 300 kilos of cocaine. The pilot died on impact. It was said that he had a heart attack flying under 300 feet. And the co-pilot
So much
survived.
cocaine in the system?
Too much coke in the system, probably. And the pilot survived with a fractured hip and a broken arm, and he made it behind us 1.5 miles to the island we're going to pass by. They found him passed out underneath the boardwalk 7 days later, and ironically, he almost died of dehydration. I'll go around the plane so you can see just how smashed up it is. And then we'll go by the island. I'll slow down so you can see the boardwalk where they found him. And then we'll engage the last leg of the tour. It's a long, narrow stretch where usually there's quite a few alligators there. Wow. And we'll probably run over a few alligators. We don't hurt them because the boat's flat bottom and they got 1/4 inch thick skin. So
what about that
We
bird?
definitely ran over that one.
Yeah, we can feel it.
Yeah.
Like, oops, sorry, buddy.
I've never come back to see one floating upside down.
What
When did this happen?
1989.
1989.
I didn't come out here so that I could see.
You're real touristy, by the way.
Well,
you really, really are.
I know. I need some like flamingo glasses or something.
Yeah.
I didn't come out here to see. I came out here. I didn't care if we even saw one.
No, thank you.
Doesn't matter.
We've seen a bunch,
You know
though.
what I
You
mean?
want a drink?
No, we
They're
have
cool.
seen But I came out here just to really see the Everglades.
Yeah.
That's what I wanted. Like I've always wanted to see the Everglades. I even told Aaron on the way here. I was like, it'd be cool to do a swamp tour, you know, of the Everglades. And then Ryan called and was like, hey man, so I don't know if you care about this or not, but found a tour for the Everglades, and I was, I'm in. That's all. And he goes, but and then he started telling me the bad points about the, you know, it's an hour from here. I said, I'm in.
Yeah.
You know, and then there was another one. I'm in.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. I'm in. So,
And that's
no, this was
Looks
cool.
like we're making a
Pablo Escobar's plane.
Yes.
Full of coke at one point.
Nice.
That's crazy.
Probably still some in
You
there.
go around the country
I
doing
know.
it.
Yeah, it's kind of like
So we're still here because
Sniffing around.
doesn't make sense to go all the way home.
So,
So
we went,
I assume like the
you know, down little
feds or
creeks,
somebody came
rivers
out
and
here
stuff like that in Oklahoma, and it was cool.
Checked it all
I know he
out,
always talks
and
about how cool they were
probably
anyways.
pulled the drugs out of it and blah blah blah.
When
blah.
it went down, I'm sure the rednecks got to the drugs
Yeah.
before the feds.
Right.
You know, back
Yeah,
then the
'cause they
feds
died.
and the rednecks were
Tell me,
working
no,
hand in hand out
He'll
here.
tell me down to
Feds
probably
were just as dirty
50,
then, they're
60
probably
bucks
dirtier
worth of
today.
Yeah.
And they could not.
I'll
The
go
reason
sit
this
down.
air
Couldn't
this
Couldn't tell
plane
you how to
didn't
work
get
on
cleaned
it.
up
But
is
he could tell you how much it
the
costs.
state wasn't
You'd
going to
have all
force it.
kinds
The
of questions
state's
about
in
how to
charge
work
of
on
making cleanups. So let's say you flew a plane and crashed it today, your family would be charged with the expense of the cleanup. But because it was Pablo Escobar's plane, they had nobody to go to. And the state at the time, the environmental laws weren't as strict, so there was nobody really to obligate.
Yeah.
Now the plane, I mean, there's nothing there really. It's contaminant. All the
And it makes a great deal for your tours.
yeah, some people love it.
This is like a
They love the story behind it.
Yeah.
There are over 300 crashes in the Everglades.
Oh wow.
Most of them not lethal, but the two most notorious crashes, 1996, May of 1996, Value Jet, you might have heard of that one, went down with 188 people just west of Miami, right 8 miles north of the Tamiami Trail. You can actually drive on the Tamiami Trail, that's Calle Ocho, that leaves from Miami, goes to Naples, and there's a sanctuary that they made that points to the 8 miles to where the crash was. That plane had a fire in the storage compartment, and it got all the electronics. So those people were totally conscious when they went down. They went down doing 500, maybe 600 miles an hour. And the problem is, right where they went down, it's about 60 feet of this gunk, and they hit the bedrock, the plane crushes like a can. And when they try to go salvage, even if they were able to get barges out there with backhoes on them, which is very unlikely because the water is not very deep, the moment you pull some of this material, it's like quicksand, there's more behind it. So they were not able to recover the bodies or anything. So they made a memorial. My partner was actually out there once, and he says it's an ear and feeling. You know, the Cubans believe a lot in Santeria, and it was mainly Cubans that died on that plane. And they say the spirits don't allow anything to grow, but in reality, it's probably all the jet fuel and the hydraulic fluid and everything there. Plants don't grow, but he said when you take one look at it, you can't tell there was a crash there.
Man, that's crazy.
Nature comes back real quick. Then the other crash was when, in the 80s, when Reagan was president. That one also crashed west of Miami. It was the Eastern flight. 33 people survived out of like 190. But the rescue crews actually had to wrestle bodies away from alligators. Now, alligators don't necessarily prey on people, but they're not going to pass up a free meal.
Yeah, that's
Can't
for
blame
sure.
them. They're the scavengers. They clean up, keep the Everglades clean. All right, guys, let's continue.
People probably dump bodies out here anyway.
Oh yeah.
In
there's
the
all kinds
40s and 50s, when the Italians were running the bootlegging and the strip clubs down here, because that was big in Florida. You ever hear this? See the movie Porky's?
Yep.
Okay, Porky's was filmed in Florida. People think it's filmed in Mississippi. It was filmed right here in Florida, and there was a lot of back then. There was a lot of prostitution, a lot of strip clubs. That was all Italians that were running it, the Italian mafia. They would cut up the bodies and throw them out here because the alligators ate them. There was no evidence.
Yeah.
Then in the 60s and 70s, it was the Mexicans running marijuana. Then 80s and 90s, obviously the Colombians, and now we're back to Russians, the Russian mafia, the Ukraine Russian mafia. They own all the strip clubs in South Florida.
Wow.
So it changes about every 20, 30 years.
Right.
All right, here we go, folks.
bite you accidentally.
Yeah.
Whether we'll lose anybody?
No, I don't think so.
You want to try that?
We did.
Awesome. Yeah.
Give you guys a brochure. We have a boat in Pompano Beach that does fishing charters. Also give you a card with
Hey, I
a
would
link
do
in the
this
back. If
every
you guys
time
don't
I
mind
go.
giving us a review, we'd appreciate it.
How can I get back there and get my glasses?
Oh, I see. I'll get the grabber. Give me 1 second.
That was badass.
Yeah, it didn't matter. I honestly, I didn't care if we saw one alligator, but they're everywhere.
Yeah, there's literally one
there's
right
one
here by the
chilling
boat.
right
Yeah,
here.
like a pet alligator that just sits right
Yeah.
Yeah, he said that he has to be careful sometimes when he walks over to the truck because that's when they think that you're trying to feed it and they could bite you accidentally.
Yeah. I still feel like
I kind of feel now that I've seen them that they're equally as afraid of us as we are afraid of them. They just can do more damage to us.
yeah, no, if we startle them.
Yeah.
If you startle me, I'm just gonna, you know, like, get away from me.
Hey, man,
He's
we
gonna
cool?
yeah, hey, wait, whoa. Are we cool, man?
Yeah.
If you startle that dude, man, he gon'
Yeah.
You had to fish my glasses out of the back. They fell off my shirt.
nom you, you know? You dropped your glasses?
Yeah.
If I see him, I'd have went, well, didn't see him, man. They must have fell in.
No, I seen them, so he's like,
You guys driving all the way back to Jupiter?
Yeah. Yeah. Around about an hour drive for us. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, I know if you want to stop and get something to eat on the way,
Yeah.
Delray Beach,
Yeah.
just off Atlantic. You got a lot of good restaurants there. Quite nice. Quite nice area. They've got a couple places with live music and all that. It's on the way.
Delray
It's from here 25 minutes. If you put Delray Beach, you put Atlantic.
Yeah.
Restaurants Atlantic Avenue and Delray Beach. That's probably the best place where you're gonna find a bunch of different restaurants there. They're good restaurants.
Okay.
All right.
Great.
All right, guys.
Thanks
Stay
again.
safe.
We
Thank
appreciate
you.
it, man.
Thank you. Have
Thank
a good
you.
one. Stay safe.
yeah, totally.
It was a good one. Colton, what'd you think about it?
It was badass. It was cool.
That was pretty cool, huh?
It was cool.
Yeah. Hoff, you were quiet. Would you give that a thumb up? Would you get that 2 thumbs up or what?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
We got to see Pablo's Rectas playing.
That was pretty cool.
That was cool.
The redneck.
Like all the
yacht
dudes.
clubs.
I just think of like all the people at the clubhouse is like, they're out there. Like,
Yeah, they like.
no civilization
No.
at all.
They
Yeah.
don't like people. People that party out there don't like people.
Yeah. That's crazy. The houses on stilt in the middle of the Everglades to me is wild. I did not know that was a thing.
That's for the people that like to live in the middle of nowhere.
Off the grid.
Off the grid.
Yeah, you
They
definitely
don't
off
like
the grid on that
interaction
deal.
with people.
But no, what'd you think of it?
No, it's cool. I would do it if I came back here again. Like Sean said, I would do it again anytime. It surpassed my expectations of an airboat ride, so it's pretty cool.
Yeah, it was cool. Well, was that your first time on
First
Airboat?
time, yeah.
So, and I think this was probably one of the best places to do that.
I think it was too.
Like that was crazy.
Yeah, probably never thought if you'd asked me, I'm like, I probably won't ever get to do that. But there we go, we did it.
We
There
did.
you go, man. You win some races, you get to do some cool shit.
Yeah.